No, I've been given this article, and the person said that Vox is jumping off the J.K. Rowling hate train. And there's a lot of hatred to her. Like, if you go on her Twitter, you'll see just how much abuse she's getting on a daily basis. It's not true, though. I mean, they are playing a little bit of a devil advocate here and there, and they're clarifying some of these tweets that she's getting, and they're saying, well, it's not really like that. But the overwhelming theme of the article is to attack her. Despite the fact that they're doing a little bit of devil's advocate, that's not enough to say that this is a defense of her or anything of the sort. No, like, the left really dislikes J.K. Rowling. And the reason for this is that she used to be one of theirs. Like, she probably still is a proeminent progressive advocate. Like, on every single social issue that is left-wing, she is most likely supporting. When it comes to refugees, when it comes to social healthcare, when it comes to every single progressive issue, she is on board. Even with the transgender issue, I mean, I'm pretty sure she would respect a person's pronouns. She probably wouldn't discriminate towards trans people by not hiring them if they're competent and good enough for what they want to be hired for. But the only thing that she doesn't do is she doesn't believe that a trans woman is a woman. Like, she would be polite with that individual. However, they do not believe that that person should be in women's spaces. So, for example, being sent to a woman's prison, being able to compete with women, like, that's where she draws the line. And the reason that I like J.K. Rowling is because she's a perfect example of how strong the left orthodoxy has become. It's to the point where you can be on board with 99.9% of the left-leaning issues, but if you disagree with that one particular thing, then you're not a leftist. Like, you're an actual evil person, and if people play your video games, they get harassed as well. So what's interesting is that they justify her being transphobic because she says that trans women are inherently dangerous threat to cisgender women. But this is not what she's saying. She's not saying that the trans women are dangerous. She's saying that the legislation that progressive people are making is dangerous, right? So cisgender, heteronormative, straight, patriarchal politicians are legislating ways that these things can be abused. So, for example, if you are to say that any person who claims is a woman is becoming a woman, and they can enter any woman's space, what is to stop a person that's not transgender, but is just disingenuous, to take advantage of that law in order to be sent to a woman's prison? Like, for example, a rapist can just identify as a woman, and then he gets sent to the women's prison. Like, please tell me what is stopping them from doing that, because I have looked at many of these legislations, and I actually know people who changed their gender legally in order to benefit from certain protection and certain rights. I mean, there is the famous case in Canada with the trans woman that has Z-sized prosthetic tits and went into a classroom with them. That person is a troll. I know my trolls, okay? That person did so because previously they were corrected by the HR lady about how to speak in class and how to behave properly. So the next day they come out saying, okay, well, I'm trans now. And they got like this big prosthetic titties, which got him into the mainstream media, into the news, and the school couldn't fire him. Well, recently, it turns out that when they're walking in their free time, they're not wearing the breasts, right? Because they're not trans. They're just using the law against the people that are trying to enforce it. And now he got suspended from the school. But still, the idea is that there are many disingenuous people that will take advantage of legislations like that, and there's no barrier, nothing to prevent them from doing so. And this is why J.K. Rowling is concerned. And, you know, like, apparently being concerned about that makes you transphobic, but it would be interesting to actually go into public and talk to random people and do a poll or a survey and see how many people think that it should be okay for a person who identifies as a woman to be sent to a women's prison, or a person who identifies as a woman to be able to compete with women's sports. Like, let's see what the public has to say. How many people are on J.K. Rowling's side? But you're never going to do that because the ideology is being enforced top-down, usually through moderators, through social media trust and safety councils, by phoning corporations and getting people fired. I believe that it is a minority of people that are taking it to that extreme. I mean, the most extreme that I've seen is activists going after lesbian women, shaming them, calling them transphobic for not wanting to have sex with trans women that have cocks. Or there was a case in the UK where a man wanted to film a porn movie. So he wanted to commission an actress. Eventually finds one, talks with her, invites her over, finds out she has a cock. And at this point the guy's like, well, you know, I don't want to suck it. I don't want to suck the schlong. It's like, well, if you don't suck the schlong, you bigot, I'm going to file a lawsuit. And she actually sued. I don't know if she won or not. But, like, these cases exist. Like, there are people who believe that, yes, if a person says that they're a woman and identifies as such, you should treat her, including sex. Right? Like, if you're a straight person and you don't like the cock, well, if a person with a cock identifies as a woman, you need to have sex with them. And I don't think the majority of the public agrees with that. I don't think that even a small percentage of the public agrees with that. And then you also have, you know, other extreme cases where people believe that you are murdering individuals by playing Hogwarts, the video game. Like, that is beyond ridiculous. Like, most people will not believe that. And I don't think that you will find even 5% of the population supporting going after female streamers who play that game in order to try to harass them. But yet we have seen the mainstream media not only justifying that harassment, but attacking the people that speak out about it. And saying, look, it's not okay. And I mean, there are trans people who do not like this. And like, dude, you're making it worse for our community. Just stop it. What the fuck are you doing? Just stop harassing these people. Like, we do not stand for that. But you have the allies that do not care. Right? Like, they just believe they are fighting the righteous battle. And they're on the right side of history. And as such, everything they do is justified. So this is why the whole J.K. Rowling is an interesting thing. And more interesting is that her IP is very popular. And we live in the age of remakes and spin-offs. So people want the Harry Potter shit. But they want to also disassociate with her, which is very hilarious because a lot of actors that made a name for themselves specifically because they played in Harry Potter are now attacking J.K. Rowling. I mean, to me, this is beyond hilarious, right? Like, they wouldn't even be on the radar if it wasn't for her. And it goes to show just how toxic this ideology is. So, like, not only do you have to agree with every single thing that the orthodoxy puts forward, but you also have to stab the people that are helping you in your career and in making a name for yourself. Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure if the actors don't disassociate and if they don't take a jab at J.K. Rowling, then they would be in trouble. I mean, we saw what happened to random female streamers. Like, we saw what happened with Pickamee. We saw what happened with Silver Veil. We see what's happening right now. Like, people are, like, Hassan Piker is retweeting people that are attacking Pipkin Pippa. Like, it's a level of unhinged that I haven't seen in a while. And it's funny because, like, the people doing the aggression, like, playing a video game is not aggressive, okay? There is no fucking way you can convince me that it is. But the actual aggressive people, they're the bullies. I mean, there is no way you can look at it and say that they are on the right side of history. And yet they still do it. Astonishing. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.